to be.
I do have some stories because I've done this stuff for 45 years, so I'm not new to it. You think about it, I've just about seen anything and worked on anything and killed about anything without using a gun I can imagine. So a little bit about Massey Services. That they're the largest family-owned company in America. We're the 5th largest pest control company in America. We're behind Orkin, Terminex, Ecolab, and then one other one that I don't even remember. It's not that important, but we're right behind them. We've been in the area of Texas now for 12 years. I have been in the business, like I said, 45 years. I used to own my own business here in the Arlington, Grand Prairie area for 31 years. I went to work with Mr. Massey in January of 2016. I've known him since I was 10 years old. My father hired Mr. Massey in Houston, Texas in '66. I'm a 2nd generation pest control company. My family's been in the business since 1949. And they started with Orkin in Memphis, Tennessee. And so I've got so many cousins and relatives that are in the pest control business, I can't keep track of them anymore. I don't even know where they're at, most of them. I know where they started, but I don't know where they ended up. But matter of fact, my cousins own a company right across the street from us right here, Chief Pest Control. So I do know where 2 of them are at, but I don't know where the rest of them are. You've probably heard that we are a pest prevention company. That's different than pest control, okay? What makes it different? Okay, pest control, now think about this. It's the indiscriminate application of chemicals in your home, in your personal environment, with no discretion, whether you need them or not. Somebody's gonna come in with a little silver can, he's gonna spray your baseboards in your home. Whether you're allergic to it or not, if you forgot to tell him, too bad, you're gonna get it in your home. Pest prevention means that we start taking care of your pest problems, if you have one, outside. The perimeter of the home, the eaves, the caulking around the windows, we seal those so that the varmints can't get in. We help you like in your garage. If you're one of these people that love to leave your garage open for your cat, don't do that no more. That's a bad move. You're going to get mice, you're going to get rats, snakes, anything in the world, because if they find a place, especially that's the time of year that's coming now, they're going to go straight in there because it's one, warm, it's dark, and if you put your garbage in the garage before you take it out, they're going to have food to eat, okay? So I know that sounds a little bit scary, but it's just basic common sense, okay? You can help yourself a lot of times with pest control. So that's the difference between pest control and pest prevention. Massey is a pest prevention company, okay? We specialize in doing things that help you take care of that problem. Like you and I talked about with, say, to get rid of the wood pile, get rid of the doghouse, take away the places where the insects can hide, then you don't have the problem anymore. But that's what Massey does. We help you with suggestions. Now, I know we do your facility for you. If you've probably noticed your service tech, he does treat the outside of your windows, should be treating across the front of your suite that you have. He'll treat outside the back door. Now, he'll come in and take care of the place too, but most of the time he'll do an inspection before he starts to treat. And he'll check your water sources, he'll check under your cabinets and stuff like that. And that's just basic pest stuff. A little bit about me as to why I've been in the business for so long. I've never stopped learning stuff about this. Chemicals change every day. EPA takes stuff off the market at the drop of a hat that we've been using for years. We wake up tomorrow, they passed a law and it's not there anymore, you know that. And so we have to change with the times or you're gonna get left behind with pest control. One of the things that you might not know is that, but COVID brought it out. You probably heard the term essential business. Are you an essential business? Well, the pest control industry is one of 10 industries that was created back in the Roosevelt years that in case of war, because we were in a world war at the time, it's funded by the government if war occurs on our soil, because we have to protect the water sources and the food supplies. You can't let rats run rampant. You can't let fleas run rampant because of plagues. We went through all of that in histories in the 1700s, 1600s, all like that. Our government decided, let's don't let that happen here if we have a war. Luckily, we've never had it, but COVID brought in words essential business. We had to continue operating because hospitals need service, restaurants need service. You got to have sanitation facilities to provide food, whether you've got one person or you've got a whole restaurant full of people. People have to have sanitation conditions in their homes. So you've got an indigent person in your home that can't get out of bed, and all of a sudden you get an ant infestation that they crawled up the bed and they're in the bed with this person. That happens so much, you have no idea how often that happens in assisted living homes, that the people are bedridden, and that's why we are in business, and that's what we provide. It's not just, well, I don't know if I need it today. Everybody, as the gentleman that owns Color says, everybody is a lead for me, a reference. Every one of you in here need pest control. You will need it some point in time, whether you want to take care of it yourself or whether you have me do it, okay? But the biggest problem that you have taking care of it yourself is that you don't know what to use. You don't know how to use it. So you run a risk of hurting yourself and hurting your family in your own home. And once it's in there, it can't be taken out. The chemical is there. Whether they say it's gone in 30 days, I can tell you from experience. If we do a swab test, it's not gone. It's still there. So the best part about having a pest control company do that is that we have to be trained, and we go through extensive trainings at Massey every week. You have to have a license. To get that license, you have to go through the Texas Department of Agriculture, and you have to take tests, reaffirming your tests every year. It's not just something that you get it once and you keep it for the rest of your life. You can lose it. You make a mistake, you screw up with someone's home, that person calls the State Department, you can also lose your license, you can go to jail, and you can be fined. And they come to your home and do an inspection, and these men carry guns. They are serious about what they do. But it's a little bit different in the world today. I know some of the things that I've done in my life. I've killed roaches at 35,000 feet in the air on airplanes before. I have been into every kind of Chevrolet, Ford, automobile plant you can imagine, and the sizes of them in Detroit and in Michigan and stuff, and all over. I have done places like Morton Meyerson Symphony Center that are very top-notch places that you wouldn't think with a janitorial staff that they would have pest problems, but they do. You know, ballparks, AT&T Stadium, Cowboys Stadium, when it used to be over in Irving, I did for years and years and years. And that was kind of like the highlight of my life, because I grew up sitting next to my dad watching Cowboys games growing up. And I grew up and got to go there all the time. I was in the Cowboys Valley Ranch every week. And so the business has afforded me a lot of different avenues to be able to see things and do things that you wouldn't normally get to do. And like Sam says, having done this in about a third of the United States, in different states, and being licensed in so many places like Michigan and Kansas and Oklahoma and Tennessee, Georgia, here, I've seen and done so many things. And I guess I'll share one story with you, is that it was early in my career that when I owned my own business here, we were doing service for the UT Medical School. That's when it's called UT Medical School there in Dallas, over on Harry Hines. It's now called Southwestern, and it involves so much more than it used to. We were doing the service for that facility. And part of the facility that we had to do was the forensics building, which was tied into Parkland Memorial Hospital. And I had this young gentleman that worked for me that was big, strong, redheaded, but let's just say he was not the brightest rock in the box, okay? And so I sent him one day to go over there and do the service at the forensics building. And I knew what was there, but he didn't, okay? And so they wanted him to service the whole building. But as you can imagine, you have people brought in that have been in accidents and every type of death and everything you can imagine, and so they have to bring them there before the coroner will release them and move them out, and they either become cadavers at the university if they've donated their body, or they are picked up by the funeral company and taken care of. But that's a wayward stock that they have, and so I sent him over there to do service, and this man, I had seen him drill concrete that I've never seen. 18-inch concrete, and he could put a hammer through it in a matter of a minute or two. Big, strong, burly, loved to shoot, loved to hunt, everything like that. And he was doing service. He got on the elevator. He thought he was going up, but he was going down to the basement. And the elevator door opened up, and that smell hit him in the face. And he fainted. And he fainted right in the door of the elevator, and it was opening and closing on him like this. And so after about an hour, the lady receptionist upstairs wondered where he was. They had no idea where he had gone to, and he was missing. He hadn't come back to the desk or not. And so they went downstairs and they found him laying on the floor with the door closing and opening on him. And they woke him up, they revived him, and as soon as he woke up and went to stand up, there he went again. And they had to drag him by his boots back into the elevator, put the oil of eucalyptus under his nose here so that he could breathe when he woke up and he wouldn't pass out again. And so, long story short, they call me and tell me what happened to him. So I'm waiting for him to get back to the office because I know I'm about to hear it. And I swear to God, he's blood red-headed, freckled. He walks into the office and I swear I saw no freckles. He was solid white in his face. And he said, he walked in, sat down in my office, and he was quiet. And I said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Don't ever send me back over there again." I said, "Well, they called. They wanted you to come back tomorrow." and he said, "I quit." I said, "No, I'm just teasing you." But that was at that office, and some crazy stories like that. And I've told Mr. Brody a couple of them, and they do get a little bit exciting sometimes. So working in this business hasn't lent me to be able to see some things and experience some things that has been quite a bit of a joke, but it's been very, very informative too. The other side of the business that Massey has right now, and it's because of COVID, we now are the largest disinfecting and sanitization company in America. And some things that you probably don't know is that sanitizing and disinfecting your home or your countertops in the kitchen, that is not sanitizing and disinfecting, okay? You take that Lysol bottle, you spray it on your counter, you wipe it off, that is not cleaning your counter, okay? Read the small print on your bottle. It tells you that you must spray that counter and you must leave it standing on your counter for 2 to 10 minutes, depending on what you use. Now, do you have time to clean your kitchen or clean your counters in your bathroom and spray there and let it stand for 10 minutes before you wipe it off? Do you believe anybody cleaning a restaurant at night when they close, the tabletops, countertops, that they're going to spray that counter for 10 minutes and let it sit on there before they start wiping it off? And what are they going to wipe it off with? They're going to wipe it off with a towel, right? Okay, guess where that virus, bacteria, mold, and mildew go when you wipe that off the table? And if you haven't waited for 10 minutes to kill it, all you're doing is just moving it around, okay? So we went into the disinfecting and sanitization business right after COVID started. And we specialize in going in and doing a 2-system proprietary treatment. You must disinfect and sanitize on a facility, and it must stay at least 10 minutes. And you cannot wipe it off, and a lot of people don't know this, with a cloth rag. You must use a paper rag and throw it away after every time you've used it or an area that you wipe. If you have an L-shaped counter, you do one side of it with one towel, you do another side with another paper towel. You have an island in your kitchen, that entire island should be wiped off with 2 or 3 different towels, not one rag. A lot of people don't know that, and Lysol's sure not going to tell you on the bottle it's got to take 10 minutes to do it. They wouldn't sell anything.
What about the wipes, like the Lysol wipes, those type of things?
You're wiping it, and it's drying. It dries in less than a minute.
Right.
Is that clean?
No. That's why I'm asking you.
No, it is not clean. But they'll say that it is, or give you the impression it is on the label till you get to the last couple of sentences. And it'll say, you must maintain a liquid film or a liquid cover of this chemical on the surface for it to become disinfected. Now, what we do is the first proprietary treatment we do is we'll come in and we'll disinfect and sanitize the surface completely. We will do it for 10 minutes. We let it sit, okay? That, we wipe it off, and that strips it down to clean, okay? As soon as that has dried, we come back in with a chemical that is designed to kill all viruses. And when I say that, it's 99.9% effective. It kills SARS, which is the COVID-19. It kills AIDS. It kills herpes. It kills the flu viruses. This chemical works to the point where if you understand viruses and bacteria like you do, people sneeze, they wipe their hands, they run their hair. First thing they do is they put the hands on the table like that. That leaves a residue on the tables, okay? Once we've cleaned the table and we put this proprietary, it's called Impale. Well, the reason it says Impale is it puts a microscopic covering on the table in the shape of nails. It spikes, okay? So, as a virus or as a bacteria settles on a surface, they're negatively charged. Because what we put on the table is positively charged, much more than the negative charge on the virus. Okay, so it pulls it down to the table, pulls it out of the air, and impales it on what we do. It kills it. We come back and you can wipe it off with a cloth, paper towel, with just plain simple water, soap, or you can use Windex or whatever you want. And it cleans that surface of those dead viruses and bacteria completely off, but it still leaves the native surface. It doesn't leave. It bonds to the surface and stays on the surface. And that's why we can offer a 30-day guarantee, because we come back every 30 days and reapply everything. We strip it down, disinfect it, clean it, and then we add it to it again, all over again. Go ahead.
So I use the EPA hospital grade herbicide disinfectant for and spray it down, chair, everything. And I do use the wipes of the Lysol.
What I would suggest you do, if you're going to continue that, unless you want to have us come do it for you until COVID is gone or something like that, spray it on your chairs. Let it sit. So you're going to have to do it after you close, not after each person. You let it sit in the liquid form. Then wipe it off with paper towels. Okay. Now the countertops where you girls lay your scissors, all like that, same way. Take it off, clean it off, strip it with the disinfectant, and then put your stuff back on. But you don't want to put contaminated stuff back on that surface, because as you lift that comb up, the bacteria and the fungus that's on that comb is going to fall right back out on the table. Okay. Now I have not talked to you about this, but your facility is a perfect type of facility. to do that, because you have so many different people with so many conditions, whether they're good or bad health, come in. It would be perfect for your location, okay?
Okay.
We do a lot of restaurants. Some of the biggest things that we do, and I know you understand this, is that food distribution warehouses, okay? We were called out to do one about 18 months ago that is a food distribution warehouse. It's one of the busiest in our area, and they provide food and services and straws and everything to some of the biggest chains of restaurants that we have here, and grocery stores. And
Stan, you got about 1 minute.
okay, and then in the first of the month they called us out. They had 52 cases of COVID reported in less than 25 days in the month that we went out there to do it. Now, we cleaned everything, desks, tops, computers, phones, break area, even cleaned the forklifts for where the men were working. And you probably understand what I'm about to say, is that the parts per million is where it's infectious or not. And to be a sanitized place, you want to be under 100 parts per million of the viruses and bacteria. Some of the apparatus we had there were in the range of 2,300. So they were making people sick just by shifts coming in and catching. After we left and did our first treatment, they've never had another case reported in this in 18 months. Never, haven't missed a day. So if you have any questions about what to do at your home, like I've told you, or your business, call me. If I can't help you, I'll point you in the direction to someone that can.
Oh, come on, you come on in.
And so if you have any questions about Massey of how I can help you, or just even answer questions, just feel free to call me anytime.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Stan.
you.